Welcome to Goshen Prepping. Thanks for joining us. I have lots of followers who send me video clips and news articles. And by the way, if you're doing this, thank you so much. I appreciate this. And if you'd like to send them to me, my email's below. By all means, send to me this stuff because I like to actually go through and see if it's something worth looking at. This particular news article was first, as far as I know, actually put out by the channel Survival Living. And he noted that, look, there are Chinese illegal biolabs found in California. So Survival Living, good job to you for getting this out. I'll put a link below. This is not the first time, by the way, I've seen news coming from him before anybody else. Okay, so what's going on here? Let's go ahead and jump into some articles and try to break down all this information coming in from this probable Chinese lab. From the California Globe, mysterious Chinese COVID lab uncovered in a city of Reedley, California. It was code enforcement. They uncovered illegal lab making COVID-19 and pregnancy test kits, bacterial and viral agents, and 900 white mice. So before we go any further, you have to understand this is a very bad mix. When you see bacterial and viral agents and white mice, if you ever work in the lab, by the way, we call those white mice pinkies. That's where pinky in the brain comes from, by the way. We love the metabolism of mice. We love the fact that we share a lot of the same type of physiology as they do. So by experimenting on white mice, it's great because they have such a quick birth and death rate. You know, they can go through many cycles very quickly to see what truly is causing problems. And that's why they have them there. In other words, this is not a pet store where they're selling pregnancy tests. They obviously are doing some type of experimentation. Why would a COVID lab run by a shady Chinese company be operating in Reedley? It was supposed to be an empty building. It was discovered by code enforcement when they saw a garden hose attached to the building and investigated. Besides pregnancy tests and such, they found blood, tissue, body fluid samples, and thousands of vials that contained unlabeled fluids. Thousands. But look at this. They found 900, not just mice, but genetically engineered mice, engineered to catch and carry COVID, living in humane conditions. Who cares about the humane part? Holy cow. 770 of them had to be euthanized, and another 178 that already were dead. What were they working on? Now, one of the things that we can look at basically when it comes to intelligence is this. Since this is a unlicensed, unregistered Chinese company, why would they not actually go through the proper protocol of trying to file a company? Simply put, that way the Chinese government can do this experimentation here and wash their hands and say, we didn't send this company over there. That's not our fault. They just did this on their own. And it took code enforcement to figure this out. Code enforcement. Another article we have to look at, the CDC brought into this detected coronavirus, HIV, hepatitis, and herpes at this California lab. So they spent months investigating a warehouse. It was a warehouse. It was not even really a business. They suspect it was home to an illegal, unlicensed lab full of lab mice, medical waste, and hazardous materials. And they say the investigation continues. But did you hear that? Listen to how nonchalantly they put this. After months of investigation, now they tell us, after months of investigation, by the way, we found this here. This, in other words, they put this in the news like, look what we just found. Oh no, they found it months ago. Didn't alert anybody, didn't talk to anybody, didn't put it in the news and say, hey, by the way, your next door, that old warehouse over there is full of biological agents. And they were doing some kind of Frankenstein monstrosity investigations and lab experiments with these mice. Who knows what they were producing? This frightens me. It doesn't just frighten me, by the way, that for the fact that they found this unlicensed lab there in the middle of California. That is frightening. And obviously something that we have to wonder how many other places it happens. But what frightens me even more is the government, in my opinion, just kind of covered it up. It's under investigation and we'll check it out. It's been there for months under investigation. At least let the people know what's going on. But that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? There are lots of things happening, both in our government and outside our government, both in our country and in our municipalities, localities that we don't even know about. No better time to prepare than right now because there's all kinds of nefarious activities taking place. And next time, who knows what's going to be let loose out of this lab? Scary thoughts.